Cobra!
Thundercats!
They're the world's most fearsome fighting team.
We're really hip.
Yeah!
This is the story of the super force of space explorers.
Good morning, Valhalla! Man Squatch! Dave G. Sound! Gun Bunny and Shockwave! The Wrench of Wrenches, Chris Persia! Henry Gambos! What is a Chronos? Somebody tell me, I don't know. P-Lie! Psychotorp 9! The Mad Doctor Adega Outlaw! Time to wake the neighbors, boys, with Southern Viking! Mary's Game Room! The Wicked Wrench of the East Project Story Time! Pacific 414! Kay Roberts! The Lady Arwen Avalon! DJ Roddy G! Trying to get everybody in there at the end. Holy crap, I can't. Project Cambrian, what's up? Loki, Dave G Sound. What is up, brother? What is up? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully I did miss some people. Jester of Sin. Good morning, brother. What is up? Greetings. You're not Mike. What?
Mike had a bit of an accident. For those of you that don't know, Mike was kind of doing one of his superhero escape through the window kind of things, and his iron thong got caught on a shard of glass. And the glass ended up coming down with him, and it severed one of his most prized possessions. And the thong, I'm afraid, it's scratched to hell. It is almost unrecognizable. Now he's okay, but the thong is in critical care, and he's trying to weld that stuff back together. So he's in a bit of a mess this morning. But we wish him well, and I think the thong will pull through. I'm hoping. I don't know that for sure, but maybe he will provide us with an update sometime in the near future.
Well, Guilty Gaming, what's up? He says, sounds painful. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was just the half of it.
Oh, apparently you're a snow Mexican, so it's okay.
I'm a snow Mexican. Yeah. It's kind of warm outside today, but the hat is to cover up the mess that currently is my hair this morning. Y'all don't want to see that. So maybe I should just do like Loki one day and just give it the old stone cold treatment, but I'm afraid I'd never be able to look at myself the same way again. So in the meantime, yes, you're getting a double dose of the Zero this morning. So my apologies to everybody, But hey, glad to be here at the very least. Yeah. So
Kronos asks, was it a cod piece?
I don't know for sure. The details I got were not overly specific, but yeah, anything that Mike maybe can tell you later on at some point, I'm sure he'll have all the information that you're currently thinking.
We'll find out next week. He'll be back next week. We'll find out. We'll find out. Record for today.
Ooh.
Record for today. So on our now playing list is Wicked City.
All
The
right.
anime from hell.
That's awesome. Ooh, look at that.
Mhm.
Wow. Pretty sweet. I wouldn't know
Best
which
animes of all time.
I wouldn't know which
Hereditary
side
with
to display.
Akira, Ninja Scroll.
That'd be pretty cool. You know what we should do? You know, before we get off topic like we always do, we should do a new segment on 0 Hour where Loki gives his album recommendations of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of new stuff that's cooking. Some of it we're kind of just making up on the spot, but bear with us. So, hey, here we go. Taco Tuesday. Let's do it.
James Dosher says, looks like one of my ex-girlfriends.
Ooh.
Lucky you.
Did she end it or did you?
It's a good question.
That's the question. It's really none of my business, but hey.
I tell you what I'm going to end. Let me get this pulled up here for you guys. Because I'm just like, wow, okay.
James Dosher ended it. He chose life. Man, what was I'm sorry for lack of a better term, was she just sucking the life right out of you on a daily basis? I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all been there at one point or the other. God, well, you know, hats off to you to getting out of that when you needed to.
I have this bookmarked. Why isn't it sitting here? It should be sitting here.
Duh. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Gary Banjo Sandwich. Could you think of a longer name? Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington. Try saying that 5 times fast. Hell, try saying it once. Vampire with a wicked bed presence. Oh, some of us have been there. Some of us have been there. Well, again, my hat's off to you, sir. That's awesome. Wicked, like wicked in a good way, like good old fashioned steamy, sweaty, kinky fun, or just bad? So I'm pretty sure everybody out in chat, we've probably all had a bad lay as well at some point. Sorry, I'm just keeping the dialogue going while you're playing Where's Waldo over there. There we go. All right.
Something's wrong. Female custodes? Hey, Games Workshop. Are there female custodes? Sure, honey. There have always been female custodes. Mentioned multiple times across all eras, codices, and lore. Your franchise is dead.
Ooh.
So, here's the deal. Warhammer is retconning their own lore to make way for female characters where there were no female characters.
So are they going all the way back?
Yes.
All the way back.
All the way back.
So they're going to go all the way back.
And they're saying that they've always been there. They've always been there. We just never talked about them. But they've always been there in the lore, but we've just never mentioned them. But they've always been there. It's okay. It's like this little guy right here. He's always been there. You just never noticed him. See this little guy over here with the horns?
Mm-hmm.
See this guy right here? He's always been here. You just never noticed him. Always there. Always watching. You just never saw him.
Even though you can't see us, we're always watching. You know, there's so many terms this day and age in modern society, things like, I said this last week, like cancel culture and modern audiences and retconning. I mean, the dictionary of phrases and terms, it's such a collection. And you know, the encyclopedia of all these terms that are now starting to give me a gag reflex and a psychological complex is mind-blowing. Like, I'm really starting to hate the word retcon because it's being used in a very bad and insecure way.
So I'm a huge Warhammer Fantasy fan. What is Warhammer Fantasy? Warhammer Fantasy is the old world. Okay, so we're talking Skaven and Lizardmen and the Empire of Man. Okay, we're talking about the old school stuff. Okay, then there's Warhammer 40K, which is like the Space Marine stuff.
Yeah,
I've never been a huge Space Marine guy, but I've always been a Warhammer Fantasy guy. So I like the old world stuff. They're even coming out with a big push for old world content because they wiped it all out and gave us this Age of Sigmar shit. And they screwed that up too. Took them a while to figure that out. Huge.
Logan's. We also know someone from our STO days that was demanding to know how huge.
Blood Bowl is part of Warhammer Fantasy. AG.
I remember Blood Bowl. Yeah, I had some friends that were into that. They got me into painting, you know, the little guys and stuff. But when they dropped that textbook of rules right in front of me, I said, I'm out.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you know, they were cool with it and all, but I'm thinking, geez. And that was just one campaign.
Dave G Sound with a 36-month member chat. Thank you so very much, brother. 36 freaking months here in Valhalla. Says Hail Valhalla and Loki. Love y'all. We love you, brother. Thank you so very much.
That's awesome.
For that 36-month member chat. This one is just for you, my friend. Skull!
A dollar? I've never seen a dollar. Nobody's got a dollar. Let us see the dollar. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill. Mary's Game Room says Zero. You paint?
No. When I say paint the fingers, yeah, I used to finger paint too. Actually, okay, no, I can't show it because my corner of shame is still over there. Okay, so real quick. All right. So the Jurassic Park photo that's up there, yeah, Zero's still moving his shit around. Bear with me. That JP poster was taken out of a Sega Genesis game, but the background there, I actually made that and painted that myself, and it was being used for something else until I forget what happened to that original project. But anyway, so yeah, that was probably the last time I really painted anything. So yeah, when I say paint, my painting knowledge is very limited.
Just Sharp Sin says, Loki, technically, both Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40K are set in the same world at the same time. The old world is locked in a warp storm and stuck in the past, hence the Great Vortex. I didn't say it like that, Loki.
It's too late. It's on the internet now. There's no going back. It's over. Oh man, oh man. So there,
that one's for you.
Oh my god. Project Cambrian is exclaiming, now he peony paints. Not on camera, of course, but his painting called Got Balls is a true masterpiece. Silly face, crying face, crying face, crying face, laughing, crying face. Yeah. All right. Well, I see what you did there. But...
Sigmar is the Emperor of Man. That's the Space Marines follow. Yes. Sigma.
Anything.
Sigma. I'm not a big Sigmar fan. I like Skaven. Yes.
Oh
Warstone. Oh yes. Kill, kill, kill. Rattling guns. Rat-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
You know, if the expressions on this guy weren't selling it enough, I'd still have to ask, have you ever thought about lending your voice talents to voice work?
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Member for 9 months. Blood Guilty Gaming. What's up, brother? He says, anything woke is dead to me.
See, I like that. Plain, simple, straight to the point. That's all you need to know.
Let's see what they say here. Warhammer is for everyone. One of the great powers of our hobby is its ability to bring people together in common cause, to build bonds and friendships that cross divides. We believe in and support a community united by shared values of mutual kindness and respect. This couldn't have anything to do with the fact that you just had a whole bunch of shares bought out by BlackRock, is it? Our fantasy settings are grim and dark, but that is not a reflection of who we are or how we feel the real world should be. We will never accept nor condone any form of prejudice, hatred, or abuse in our company or in the Warhammer hobby. We will continue to diversify the cast of characters we portray through miniatures. There it is, right there.
There's another word
Diversify.
giving me a complex. Yeah.
Art and storytelling so everyone can find representation. There it is.
There's another word that's given me a complex.
Representation. You have to have representation. You have to have someone that looks like you, acts like you, talks like you, or you can't relate to our company. There it is. Right there. There's your they've gone woke and found out.
So in a world where fantasy reigns supreme, in a fantasy world with lore that spans decades, in a world where you can create anything you want and be anything you want, to portray anything you want, we've got to diversify everything. Why? You mean to, like, everybody has the right to go out there and play a campaign and play whoever they want, or go out and buy a pack of figures and paint them however they want. So why are we to the point where we have to just retcon a whole bunch of shit just to make that make a little bit more sense? I mean, what are you trying to appeal to there?
Well, they're trying to appeal to an audience that doesn't care about them, and they think that, well, we can do anything we want and keep the audience we have. This has been the big thing. We have got an ingrained audience that is going to stay with us no matter what we do. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, no matter how we act, they're going to keep coming back to the well and buying. So we need to pander to new people, because we're always going to have the old people that support us. That's not the way it works. They think that's the way it works, but that's not the way it works. Oh, they'll come back. They'll come back. You don't have to worry about them. They'll be back. A lot of us won't.
No, they'd maybe come back. Cause I mean, it's a very, I know, for lack of a better term, sometimes it's a very jaded way to think, but when, you know, like you and I have said the same thing over and over, when you get beaten down over and over again, there comes a time when you just have to say, you know what, I've had enough. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. Now, I mean, sure, some of them may come back if they go ahead and retcon the entire retcon that they're trying to do, but you're still driving a lot of people away that are going to be completely absent-minded of any faith they had left for you.
That's right.
Because you're walking a very fine line when you start going into that, you know, very uber-sensitive territory. We've seen it happen before, and we'll damn sure see it again.
So Buzzy Dice, what's up, brother? Says it's time for open source war table gaming, 3D printing, and open source rules. And Man Squatch follows it up with 3D printers are good enough now that people can make their own figs for pennies. How many of you have gone to the Game Workshop store? How many of you have gone to the Warhammer store? How many of you have gone down and spent hundreds of dollars on box sets?
Yep.
How many of you do that?
I remember doing that years ago, and that was just because, oh my God, the bags under my eyes are horrible. I remember, because me and my high school friends, when we weren't being somewhat geeky and doing like actual pen and paper campaigns, they were like, oh, Zero. They didn't call me Zero back then, but oh, come on down to Games Workshop with us. All right, cool. And then it was fun looking around there and seeing the people playing on the tables and everything. But I'm looking at the price tags of these things, like pack 12 figurines, like 30 to 40 bucks. It's like, oh, I want to buy an Undivided Champion for blah, 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 blah. That was 25 bucks for one figure. So, I mean, really, if it is getting to the point where a lot of people can probably do this on their own and play the way they want to play in the privacy of their own homes, yeah, more power to you. Go for it. Let the wallets speak for themselves.
And, this gets brought up. And people are talking about, well, is this because of the new Amazon show that's coming out with Henry Cavill? If it is, then Henry just walked into another Witcher situation where we're going to change everything because,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel really bad for the people that have waited like decades for this. Like, oh my God, we want a 40K show. We want a 40K movie. We want 40K this. Now you're going to get it. It's not going to be what you want.
It's not going
to go how you think it is.
No, because you can't please everybody.
Okay.
And if you spend time trying to please everybody, you're just going to piss somebody off. I mean, why don't you just stick with what you know, guys? Come on.
So, a lot of people have been talking about, and we kind of went over this a little bit yesterday. A lot of people have been talking about Fallout, and we're not gonna stay on this for too long. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you give it a watch. Give it a watch. It's worth watching at least once. It is not the end all be all show people are talking about, though. I've seen people give it 9s out of 10s. I've seen people give it 10s. All this great stuff. Oh my God, it's one of the best new shows. No. They balanced the bullshit is what they did. They balanced the bullshit, and it still has plenty of bullshit. Okay? There are huge woke tropes in this show. Huge woke tropes that they had to walk a tightrope because they're special to figure out how to balance.
Not special in the Fallout way. They're very special.
They're very special.
Very special people. It's the new Fallout series, Henry.
Yeah, Fallout on Amazon. So don't go to Amazon to watch it. I didn't. How can you not go to Amazon to watch it if it's in Amazon show, Loki?
He's got connections.
Uh-huh.
We here at Valhalla do not condone the use or privileges of privacy and therefore sharing said licenses to other blah, 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 blah. You know what? Who fucking cares? We're still in the age of the internet. Once you put it out there, it's going to be out there.
So if you are really dying to see this show, I'm going to do something I normally don't do. If you are really dying to see this show and you're like, oh my God, I have to see this. It's going to be so epic. Bow out for about 5 minutes. Go ahead and bow out.
Spoiler alert.
You. We're going to put up the little spoiler thing. It's only going to last for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to change topics and talk about what happened to Hannah Gutierrez-Reed yesterday. So, spoilers now. Bow out for about 5 minutes and come back. I will be very quick with this. The father is to blame for everything. What are you talking about, Loki? The dad, the father, I think it's Lily. I think that's her name.
The main female character?
The main female character.
Was it Lucy?
Lucy.
Did someone say Lucy yesterday? Yeah.
Yes.
It was close enough.
So Lucy's father is the leader of Vault 33. He's the overseer. And it's all his fault. His wife took Lucy and left the vault and got with another woman. And that's why all of this stuff is happening in the show. Is that the dad is the horrible monster villain of the entire show. They don't start it out that way. They make him look like a hero. They make him look great. They make him look like he's the bee's knees, a good father that loves his little girl. That's not the case. Of course it's not, because you can't have that.
You can't have a nice wholesome dad.
Maximus is a fucking joke. I hate to tell you, but Maximus is a joke throughout most of the show. There are a couple of redeemable things, but it's Finn. It's Finn in Star Wars all over again. He's the janitor that just happened to get in some power armor, and yeah. So it's all the tropes are there. I don't see how people have missed this. I don't see how it's like, oh no, it was great. No, it's a mediocre to all right show. It doesn't shove a lot of this down your throat till the very end.
Was it literally a janitor that hopped in the power suit?
Yes.
So
he's a latrine officer.
Okay.
So he cleans up poop and digs latrines.
And that just automatically, so he goes from doo-doo digging to suddenly knowing how to operate a power suit, and
That's right. And they kind of make fun of that. They call it out on that. They call him out on that. They do.
Well, geez.
Yeah, I don't remember them having to do drugs to not turn feral either. It's something that I didn't remember.
That's a little weird. A little OD of the stim packs or something like that.
Shockwave says it's not who she left him for, it's that she left. She still left him for another chick, and that still ribbed him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's Finn. He's Finn, Punk Waddle.
Great.
He's Finn.
Great.
So
one of
the father was responsible for the destruction of New California. The actor's wife was responsible for the first bombing. In Fallout, everyone is bad.
Well, if you're raised in a bad environment, I don't know. Is it nature versus nurture all over again, or from hero?
And
to
some
zero?
of it's good. I really like the stuff with the ghoul. Walter Goggins is the ghoul. I did like that. The problem is that it's surrounded by all this junk that I'm like, do I really need to watch it again a second time? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it. See how if I change my mind. But I'm no. Cringe dump. Thank you. 7th inning stretch, 7-episode cringe dump. So you get all this cringy shit dumped on you, and you're like, thanks, guys.
How many episodes did the season
there's
go?
8 episodes.
8 episodes. Man, that's and they're what, 45, 50 minutes in length?
Undead Ramen, thank you. You have corrected me. Yes, there are 3 Star Wars movies and 1 fucking holiday special.
There's a holiday special? I was not aware of any holiday special.
So, this is what I have to say to anyone that is like, oh my God, it's so great. Coming soon to a Loki store near you.
Ooh. For those of us that still wait for Sovngarde. So again, they're what, 45, 50 minutes to an hour per episode. So that's a long stretch that you're getting to salt and pepper all that cringy stuff.
8 hours. About 8 hours.
Yeah, that's 8 hours. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of time, but it also is. I mean, yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, nothing but fan fiction from this point out.
So I don't know. I'll give the show like a 6.5, a 7, somewhere around there. But It is not this bee's knees. Oh my God, it's so much better. If you want a balance of this woke shit, fine. I guess you got your show. All we can expect now is to get a balance. No. That is not all we can expect. They screwed up. They made a mistake. And we're paying for that mistake. The fans, the people that enjoy the shows. Star Trek is dead.
It's dead, Jim.
Star Wars is dead.
It's dead.
Okay?
Luke.
Just look at the new game that's coming out by Ubisoft and tell me it's not dead.
That thing. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, with a name like Ubisoft attached to it too, you know, it's gonna be glorious. Probably maps littered with shit that isn't gonna matter. Power up packs that you can buy on a daily basis for who knows how much money. Yeah.
Woke is not about balance. K. Roberts. Exactly. K. Roberts hits a nail on the head.
Because I was
hammered it.
I was gonna ask, like, can you even have balance at this point? You know, because I mean, the only balance I see going on this day and age is the balance of power. Like, you know, we want this, we want to take this. We're like, well, you can't have this because it's already established. Well, we want it anyway. That's the only balance I see, and it's like never ending. Oh my. Yeah, I don't know.
Henry Gamble's Loki. Can we call Disney-ists for making a beautiful Latina woman an ugly generic self-insert? Sure, you can. Call them whatever you want to. If you like Fallout 4, you'll like the lore of the show. But Bethesda is trying to retcon so much of their own games over what they didn't write.
That's a scary thought. It just works.
Irate Specialist. It was not a great show. It was a good show. Starving in the desert, a good meal will seem great.
Yeah.
Or an okay meal will seem like fucking Christmas.
Like if you're starving and someone gives you a cracker, you'd be like, God damn, that was the best cracker I've ever had. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I still think it's kind of funny because I mean, you talk like how much of a hand does Bethesda actually have in this? Like, are they exec producing this thing from start to finish? Like, how deep are their hands in the turd?
This was an Amazon show based on Fallout, the video game series.
So the Bethesda studio doesn't have a whole lot of say on what's going on over there. I don't know, because I know, you know, Bethesda eventually picked up the Fallout franchise, and that's when a lot of people fell off because it's like, oh, Bethesda didn't understand the lore anyway. So I mean, who knows? But yeah, it's yeah.
They didn't start Fallout.
No, they did not. Nope, they picked it up. Someone in chat will probably know who actually originally created the, you know, Fallout universe, but yeah, who knows? But refund my multi-pass.
Multi-pass. So Shum says they were promoted beyond their capacity to produce anything. So I know Bethesda took over with Fallout 3.
Which wasn't bad. Wasn't great. It wasn't like, you know, the be-all, end-all.
Fallout 3 had some problems, but Fallout 3 made it very popular.
Yeah. I mean, Fallout 3 had Liam Neeson. Quickly, get to the bunker. There's no time. So, yeah, I don't know.
Lulu Dallas, multi-pass.
Woo! Yeah. So, yeah. Who knows? Was it Interplay, Black Isle? Someone's probably got to know. So that sounds familiar. If we don't get a second season, I won't lose sleep over it. Well, I mean, you know, in all fairness, like we were saying yesterday, with the reviews that have been coming out, I don't know, and maybe it, you know, might take a little bit of time for it to sink in. Maybe a lot of people out there, good morning. Maybe a lot of people out there will give it a second watch, and then they'll be a little more tuned into what's going on, and then they can start to, you know, cherry pick certain things. Maybe that's when reviews will start to balance out, because so far at present, I haven't seen many, if any, reviews saying the show is shit. But again, as the weeks and months go by, maybe that could all start to change. It wasn't like Halo, which just got shit on as soon as it came out. Halo, not Halo, whatever the hell you want to call that. With
I don't know what Paramount thought was going to happen with Halo, but
Yeah.
that is, I mean, if I was okay, so if I was an exec over at Paramount, I'd have been like, "This is what you're doing with almost $100 million an episode."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Where's the money?
Yeah, and I think
Where's my money, bitch?
I think it's kind of funny too, because I mean, when you think about it in this day and age, $100 million really doesn't sound like a lot.
I want my money. Where's my money?
Yeah. Punkwaddle says he has seen some angry reviews on Fallout. Well, I'm sure once those floodgates open, yeah, some might start to yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Undead Ramen says it's kind of like the good Marvel movies. You don't have to be aware of all the canon lore to enjoy it. Actually, not being a fact freak might make it even better.
Yeah.
So Eris watched most of Fallout with me. Didn't understand half of it. I had to explain some things. I had to explain about Vault-Tec. What is Vault-Tec? What their mission is. I saw, there's things I saw coming a mile away because I know Fallout lore. I said Ballhammer.
Fallhammer.
So thinking
that sounds like a great crossover series. You could totally do that. So yeah.
Loki's woke meter is awfully sensitive. Fallout is famous for effed up choices. I give it a C+ to B. Somewhere around there. Maybe a B-. Maybe.
Yeah. That seems to be the average out there at the very least. I haven't seen many of the overly negative reviews at present time, but like I said, but I mean, especially if they pick it up for another season, which they very well probably could, if the first season didn't end with finality. Yeah, I'm sorry I went there. Strike it from the record. Cord on this mic at some point. Is
that what's happening? Because every once in a while you cut out, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, because I'm not used to actually sitting here and having the mic right in front of me, so we're getting used to a lot of things. So I mean, they could go down a road where, because we've seen this happen with series too. The first season comes out, people like it. Some people are kind of 50-50. It's average. It's like, okay, well, that was semi-enjoyable at least. Yeah. C+ became good when D+ became a passing grade. So get by doing the bare minimum, guys. Keep at it. It could be another one of those cases where the first season, even at best, mediocre, but people will still give it a fair chance. And then when the second season drops, that's when all hell break loose and the show goes to shit. Who knows? I mean, we've seen plenty of studios drop the ball on stuff like that before. So, I mean, it very well could happen again. Especially when you're tinkering with lore that's already been established for 20 or 30 years.
20 or 30 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, and, if you start dabbling in those waters saying, oh, well, we're just going to make slight changes to this,
just make something new.
Yeah. That's all you got to do.
Something new. But they can't do that in this sense. So you can't make a show based on Fallout without it being Fallout. Okay. The Fallout guy, you find out some stuff about him. There's some little cool things. There's some Easter eggs that are in it that I thought were pretty cool. But overall, there's a bunch of shit they put in there that they didn't have to put in there. I'm just, when did like a barely passing grade become fabulous? Yeah. That's my question. That's what I want to answer. When did a barely passing grade become, oh my God, it's the best shit ever?
Well, I mean, when you surround yourself, because none of us really had a choice in it. So, I mean, when the execs and the higher ups and Hollyweird start surrounding themselves with more strange, that standard bar that used to be so high and up there, it slowly started to come down. And nobody nobody really had the balls to try to push it up again. The new standard medium just became the medium because it's easier to live at a mediocre medium. It's so much easier to do it that way. You don't have to push yourself for maximum creativity or do anything like that anymore. Just throw a bunch of money at a project, hire writers who don't know shit, and make a nice mediocre product. That's the way to go.
You're a little fuzzy.
I'm a little fuzzy.
You're a little fuzzy.
Yeah, my camera seems to, I do a lot of, Italian talking with my hands, so I think my camera has a conniption fit and doesn't know what to focus on sometimes. But yeah, let me check my settings. Sorry, Zero's still getting used to his
No, you're good.
surroundings here, but
Woke culture aims to destroy meritocracy. Accepting mediocre content is a corporation's dream. Yes. Own the IP and you have a money machine.
Yeah. I mean, really, and that's the modicum of mediocrity. Pick up an IP, license to print money right there. Do whatever you want with it.
And again, there's a bunch of people that are saying that Civil War is this great movie. We'll talk about Civil War real quick. No spoilers, so you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to spoil anything for you this morning. We'll put up the no spoilers.
I know we
Civil
said
War is another mediocre.
Yeah.
It's a mediocre slice of content that's like, we edged you on being offended, but here, enjoy it and say it's the best it's ever, so we make a lot of money. No. Just because you don't cross over the line into insanity doesn't mean that tippy-toeing on it doesn't get you points taken away for it too. And that's kind of what Fallout did until the very end. Then they just jumped the fucking line and we're like, well, we're gonna do all this trope bullshit.
it's sad.
But just because it's better than STD or Picard or some of this other shit doesn't mean it's an absolutely great show.
No, it doesn't. Well, because again, I mean, STD, Picard, Mandalorian, all that stuff. Well, again, how high was that bar set for any of those? I mean, that's a low bar that nobody's limboing under. I mean, come on, really. So comparatively, yeah, friggin' Citizen Kane masterpiece right there. But the standard bar that is the new medium, it's crap. It's crap. It's a C plus. It's a solid C plus all around.
So Joe Doc says Civil War mourns like cringe soy war. I read an interview from I think it was the director, might have been one of the writers, that said, we tried not to go overly political and put one side into it. That way it does not become a period piece. It's already a period piece.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's no easier way to date your product than to do such a thing just like that.
Mark said STD is running in entire areas in ARC in a very weak TNG story. They cannot stand on their own. Okay. Here's the problem with STD. All right. And here's the problem with every single Star Trek series that's come out since Enterprise. And Enterprise had the same problem too. Don't get me wrong. A Star Trek show needs to be able to stand on its own. Okay. Having Bones come in the very first TNG episode and be like, she's a beautiful baby, always treat her right, and she'll always get you home. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But you didn't have Bones constantly there going, we did it this way. You need to be more like us. They just, he went away and he let them do their thing. And they forged their own future and their own destiny.
Yep.
DS9 did the exact same thing.
They did the same thing by doing something, completely, I guess at the time would have been considered a little bit risky because everything was about, and I promise we won't go on a trek for tangent, but I mean, it's all about ships flying through space and stuff like that. DS9 said, fuck that. We're taking place on a space station, one location. I mean, yeah, they got the Defiant and they sometimes went out and stuff like that too. But that in itself made it a whole standalone thing, because that, when you do this entire series on one station, what does that do? Kind of starts pumping your creative juices so you can figure out how to tell good stories if you're not going to be going to a different locale every episode.
That's right. That's right.
That's why Deep Space Nine had some of the best damn dialogue you'll ever find in a Trek series, because those characters made that station.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And I remember when Worf came in, there was some apprehension of, is he going to kind of take over? Is he coming in because he's OG to take over things and be the most popular person on the show? And from my understanding, it was Cole Meany that was like, Michael's great. He's a great actor. Give him a chance. He's not here to replace anybody.
Yeah.
And that he immediately becomes part of the family. He is part of that family.
Yeah.
So,
because they made it work. They had an established character, and they made it work by having him come in and not overshadow anybody else. He blended in. He was like Borg. He just assimilated himself into the cast, and everybody just kept working with complete fluid dynamics.
Dalu says Cisco's kid sucked at first, but he got a bit better.
Yeah.
Jake was like any kid growing up watching the show. Okay. But he was a lot better than Wesley. Because Wesley was there to kind of like bring in the young audience. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll give you someone to relate to. Give you kids someone that you can be like, oh, I want to be the helmsman. I want to do this.
Yeah.
Jake was kind of like that, but he wasn't an insufferable twat that talked out of his ass.
No. I mean, yeah, because Wesley, and I'm sorry, Will, but Wesley, for better or for worse, had a lot of screen time where he was kind of like the audience's wow factor. Like, oh, really? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Academy? Oh my God. And then that puberty thing happened and he started pissing everybody off. Jake was there. Jake came in. He's like, I'm stuck on this rat shit station. I hate it. I mean, Cisco,
I want to go home.
Cisco didn't want to be there either. That's why, when he started lipping off to Picard, I'm thinking, oh, don't you do it. But Cisco grows on you and Jake grows on you. And once he and Nog kind of had that dynamic going, where they could go off and they could do their B or C stories for an episode, not trying to overshadow anything. I think it helped the Jake character with having him having someone to play off of. And then you had the whole father-son dynamic going on there too. And the backstory with them losing their mom and Cisco losing his wife and stuff. But Nog was better than either of them.
Nog is such a great story.
Yeah.
And I remember when they did the video doc where they're doing the 8th season of DS9. What would you do with an 8th season? And Nog is the first thing to go. How can you kill Nog off at the beginning of the show? Because it sets up everything.
Yeah.
For what's about to happen. And this journey everybody's about to go on. This final season of Deep Space Nine that we never got to do. Nog's dead. Nog dies. The Defiant's destroyed with Nog on board.
I think that
everybody's got to come together to figure it out.
Yeah. Again, this will just be my opinion, but I want to get your opinion too. But I mean, if they did an 8th season like that from right off the bat, I think that would have been a little bit excessive. Spoiler alert, because at the end of the series, we had already lost Cisco. We had already lost, I can't even remember his name now. The shapeshifter.
Odo?
Yeah.
No, Odo was still alive. Odo just went back home.
He's still alive, but he went home, so he's not coming back,
But he does. He does. They do bring him back. In this season, they do bring him back. He comes back to figure out what the hell happened to Nog.
Yeah.
He's like, okay,
Yeah.
you killed off a main character. I'll come back and do the murder investigation.
But I think, at that point, it to me, it still would have been, I'm sure they could have found a way to make it work regardless, because there's a lot of things in Trek that happened that probably shouldn't have been successful. But to me, it probably would have seemed like a little excessive because, Nog dies, Defiant gets destroyed, all this shit's going on. I'm thinking, guys, we already lost Cisco. We already, we got through the friggin' Dominion War. Like, how much more piles of shit can we throw at these people? Haven't they been through enough? But yeah, who knows? And then, all the crap going on with the Bajorans and the Prophet and, oh God, what's her name? Who played such a fantastic bitch? You wanted to no, the what was her name? Louise Fletcher? Was that her name? The one who played the elderly Bajoran?
The Kai?
Yeah.
Kai Wynn.
Kai Wynn. That was the one. Man, my
she's dead. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, she's dead, but hats off to her because man, she knew how to get under your skin. As just viewing it, she just had that. She had that thing and you love to hate her and she probably loved any minute of it. So yeah, anyway, long story short, I think if they were to do an 8th season, while they probably could have made it work, I think, yeah, it would have had great shock value, but I think for me, it might've been a little too excessive.
Yeah. Vulcan is now not Vulcan. It's Navarre.
What the hell does that mean?
It's the new name.
Did it need a new name? What the fuck is wrong with Vulcan? Spock's goddamn home planet. Leave it alone.
Okay, so this is what they thought. This is what they thought. And this is straight from your JJ worshiping Alex Kurtzman douchebaggery guy.
Captain Lens Flare.
Captain Lens Flare. This is straight from Kurtzman. We went to the future with STD, so we didn't have to follow canon. Yeah. We were constantly being called out on canon, and we went to the future to do whatever we wanted. Mm-hmm. And what did they do? They destroyed the Federation. They made allies enemies. It's like, we don't want to tell a good story. We just want to throw everything that was Star Trek in a pot, stir it up, and pour it into a bowl and say it's good, eat it.
We don't want to tell a good story. We want to tell our story. But, then they come up with a whole thing like, well, we were asked several times, how do we keep the lore and the canon intact without disrupting anything? Oh, we'll just do a totally separate timeline. Yeah, there's an easy out for you. Do whatever the hell you want now.
Yeah, Starfleet, a human-created organization, abandons Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. So what the hell sense does that make?
8th grade negligence.
Mm.
So before we get out of here, a huge update on the Alec Baldwin stuff going on with Rust. Before we get out of here, I really want to get to this. So give me just a second. Let me get this.
I know we kind of did what we always do, which is just go completely off the rails. We said we'd talk about Fallout for 5 minutes and we probably went half an hour on it, but hey, yeah.
Okay, because this is very, very, very important. And I will tell you why. Alex gonna get off. What do you mean, Loki? How do you even know that? So, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the Rust armor, sentenced to 18 months in prison. Okay? The most important thing about all of this, and hopefully they will say it here, I find what you did constitutes a serious violent offense. Gutierrez says, I beg you, please don't give me more time. The jury has found me in part at fault for this horrible tragedy, but that doesn't make me a monster. That makes me human. She's like,
a serial killer could say the same thing.
Let's see. Do they have it? Do they have
I had
the
a mental
exact-
disorder. I didn't mean to fillet and eat those 17 people that I kept trapped in my basement. I'm a victim, Your Honor. Come on. I know that's kind of a harsh comparison there, but you know.
So what it comes down to is, and I'm looking for it here. I'm looking for the exact quote from the judge, but the judge stated, "You are solely responsible for the death of Elena Hutchinson.
Mhm.
You are solely responsible.
She had one job.
You had one job and you fucked it up."
Probably had more than one job, but when you're brought on as a weapons consultant, you know, to do exactly what you were supposed to do on that particular project, and it came down to that, you know, a lot of people are probably looking at it like, shit, we got another Brandon Lee situation on our hands.
It all boils down to a very simple question. Why was there a live bullet on set? A live bullet should have never made its way onto the set, let alone to the gun. And that is where Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, as the armor on Rust, failed.
Mm-hmm.
She has been solely blamed by the judge. These are the judge's words. So what's going to happen to Alec Baldwin when he goes before a jury and a judge and says, someone has already been blamed for this. Someone, it's been stated in full. Oh, look, there's Alec telling everybody what to do. What a surprise. That they were responsible for this. They are paying the penalty, and you're trying to make me pay a penalty for something that has already been stated is this person's sole responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think... So, I mean, did he just walk on set, grab the gun, do a scene? I was going to say shoot the scene, but that would have been a very poor choice. So he was brought the gun, did what he was supposed to do. So, I mean, are we to believe now that, like, is this going to bring up a new precedent where when you are provided a firearm on set, is it going to be the actor or actress's obligation to have a look at said weapon to make sure there's nothing looking wrong? Like, are we going to have to train everybody to learn how to handle firearms now?
They're supposed to trust that it's gone through
exactly
the armor and all
word.
of this, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing about Baldwin. He wasn't just an actor playing a role. He was the producer on the scene. He was executive producer of the movie on the scene. Okay, so as the actor that fired the gun, is he responsible? As a producer, though, this is the thing. This is the big thing. As a producer, executive producer on the set, running the show, telling people what to do, telling her she had 2 jobs to do when she should have only had 1, rushing everyone, telling everyone they weren't doing the fast enough job. Rush, rush, rush.
Yeah.
We have to make this happen as quickly as possible. That way we can pocket some of the extra money and we're not paying anything out of pocket. I don't want to pay anything out of pocket, people.
Faster, more intense.
Faster, more intense. Fuck cutting corners. We're cutting every corner.
Mm-hmm.
Is he responsible as an executive producer for the chaos he introduced onto the set?
Well, when you put it like that. But you know what? I mean, you know, as the armorer, as the weapons consultant, as the weapons specialist, regardless of the work environment, you should be well subjugated and used to said environments. You know, that's why they're called specialists.
And she wasn't.
So
Hannah Gutierrez-Reed wasn't. She was a noob.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to do a job she was not qualified to do. And now she's going to pay 18 months in a prison, not in a jail cell.
Yeah.
She's not going to sit in a jail cell in the court. No, she is going to prison.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know it's, you know, I mean, realistically, 18 months is not a long time. And To me, she still looked relatively young, so she's still got her whole life. She shouldn't have had that job. She got it through nepotism. Oh yeah, there's another way to go. Now I know something like that obviously is going to follow you around for the rest of your life. You're going to have a taint on your career. Yeah, I just said taint. But your entire profession has been tainted now. So, I mean, will she have to find another field of work? Probably. Who knows? Because, I mean, realistically, if someone is like, oh, we need to hire a gun consultant, we need to hire a firearm specialist. What about this person? No, didn't you hear what happened? I mean, how long is it going to take for that to wear off? If it wears off at all.
If it wears off at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, has her life been altered forever? Most likely.
She'll never have a job as an armorer again.
No, but 18 months, that's a blessing in disguise, because it could have been a whole lot worse.
She will never be put in this position ever again. Negligent homicide. He should have checked the firearm, as he is the last fail-safe before usage. But as an actor, you're not supposed to tamper with the weapon. Is that tampering with the weapon?
I mean, if you're not experienced with it, there's every way possible that could, something could go wrong. But again, you have to go back to the principal point. Why was there a live bullet loaded into the firearm? I'm sorry, but live bullets on set have no place. There's a million and one ways you can do gunshots and bullet holes and all kinds of shit like that. There's no reason why live ammunition needs to be used in a film. Someone's life is not worth making a movie. It's just not worth it.
All the rules because someone was supposed to be in charge of that role. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we're going to get out of here, send you over to Makini. Huge thank you to Zero for coming in and hanging out while Mike's gone.
I know I don't have Mike's personality or natural thong-like charisma, but yeah.
No, I agree. Psychodorf 9. This is Baldwin's fault. He's not going to take any responsibility for it. Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's a whole sad situation that could have been avoided in the first place. That's the real problem. But it is what it is, and now they all got to live with it. All because of rushing. Mm-hmm. When you rush, that's when accidents happen. Yep. It's pretty sad. Tommy boy. Tommy! Oh my God. All right. Oh, guys, we're getting out of here. Take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak for an honor. Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.